This is Marcus Aurelius beating anxiety. He writes in Meditations, "Today I escaped my anxiety." Then he says, wait, no. Actually, I discarded it because it was within me. Things don't make us anxious. As Epictetus was saying, we make ourselves anxious. We have control over it, which means we can solve for it.
He inherited an empire rotting from within, senators plotting behind his back, legions decimated by plague, barbarians hammering at the gates. Yet every dawn he wrote in a leather-bound journal words that would outlive Rome itself. Marcus Aurelius, the last man who could truly call himself emperor, warrior, philosopher, and the ultimate Stoic. But how did he lead with ironclad clarity while the world burned? And what's stopping you from doing the same? Modern leaders fold when stocks crash or scandals trend. But Marcus? He buried his children as plague ravaged Rome, watched his closest advisor betray him for power, and still he penned Meditations, not as a self-help book, but as a battle plan for the soul. His secret weapon? Stoicism isn't about ignoring emotion, it's about forging it into a blade. Take Tim Ferriss, who used Stoicism to rebuild his life after suicidal depression.
As far as decision-making goes, there are a few tools or heuristics and rules of thumb that I use quite a lot. The first is you don't need to do a pro and con list for a lot of things. You don't need to deliberate a lot of things. You don't need to make the perfect decision for a lot of things. And if you want to preserve your decision-making calories for the things that actually matter and your creativity, then I try to make decisions that are really not mission critical in some way. The type of toilet paper to buy, the type of toothpaste to buy. I know people are going to debate all of these, right? They could even seem like big decisions, like renting a certain Airbnb or whatever it might be. But if they are reversible, let's say they're easily cancelable, you could get a refund, or it's so inexpensive that you could just buy a second option, then making those decisions quickly and training yourself to do that, it is a habit you need to cultivate, will save you a lot of energy so that you're more perceptive for the decisions that matter a lot more, where the stakes are higher.
On the Joe Rogan Experience, he admitted, Marcus journals are my 2,000-year-old cheat code. When I face a disaster, I ask, what would the philosopher king see that I'm missing? But here's the gut check. When's the last time your fear of looking weak overruled logic?
The book is outstanding, and it's more than just sitting across from you and you telling your story is one thing, but this long, detailed history of how you became to be the person you became, I think it's very educational for people.
Your ego drowned out truth? Marcus didn't collect power, he distilled it. Wisdom to see through lies, courage to stand alone, justice to uplift even those who hated him, temperance to resist the decadence that destroyed emperors before him. Think this is philosophy? Tell that to Frederick the Great, who slept with Meditations under his pillow while building Prussia. Let's get mercenary. How would Marcus handle a backstabbing executive? When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. His move? Not punishment, physics. Ryan Holiday decoded it. Stoics don't fight toxicity, they become the antidote.
Stoics said, we treat the body rigorously so that it's not disobedient to the mind. And I think it's the idea that we're sort of cultivating this when we feel that resistance, when we feel that doubt, when our body says, no, you can't run 2 more miles or you can't do 2 more reps, and you push through that, that's what you need. Like when you're trying to pass redistricting and you fail the first time and you fail the second, like you need that part of yourself that has trained the muscle that pushes past no, or the first failure, or that it's hard. You have to cultivate that sort of meta muscle that pushes through hard stuff.
You think Marcus liked executing traitors? He loved Rome more than his own comfort. So here's your audit. Are you wasting energy on fixing others or building a team that doesn't need you to micromanage? Marcus wasn't some ivory tower poet. He sparred with gladiators in the dirt, letting them humiliate him on purpose. Why? To harden his mind against the pain of leadership. Jocko Willink put it bluntly: discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most.
We go through stuff. You know what? Whenever I face anything that's challenging, whenever anything sucks, I like it. It's gonna make me tougher. It's gonna give me a good story to tell. It's gonna toughen my mind. It's gonna bring us together as you know what military training is? You know how they form a bond in military groups? They make you do stuff that sucks.
Marcus wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Elon Musk lives this. When SpaceX's first 3 rockets exploded, he quoted Marcus, "Fire tests gold." But here's the brutal truth. If you're not voluntarily seeking discomfort, cold showers, brutal feedback, impossible projects, you're failing your team's potential. When's the last time you invited pain to dinner? Every single night. Marcus visualized his own death, not for drama, for leverage. Steve Jobs stole this tactic. Remembering "I'll be dead soon" is the best way to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Modern leaders chase likes, perks, and exits. Marcus chased echoes. His question wasn't what's profitable, it was what's unforgettable. Waste no more time arguing what a good leader should be. Be one, so let's get uncomfortable. What's one decision you'd make today if you knew you'd die next week? Not someday. Now, Marcus Aurelius's Rome collapsed into ash, but his philosophy outlasted marble and legions. The question isn't, can you lead? It's, will you build something worth leading? Hit subscribe, steal the Stoic playbook, and remember, the world needs fewer bosses and more architects of legacy.